So today we'll be working with spaghetti squash. I'm cutting off both ends of my spaghetti squash and using both hands to cut through my spaghetti squash. I'm showing you my halves, the seeds. Now I'm going to have to deseed this. I'm using a soup spoon and I'm running it through half of my squash. It'll pull away easy and then you'll start to see a few noodles separate, which is fine. I'm going to do the other half. I'm just scooping it out again, running it around, and then you'll start to see the noodles pull away, the squash noodles. And that's what we're looking for. Now, I'm going to use olive oil and I'm going to drizzle over the top of both of my halves of spaghetti squash. I'm going to season this as well. Just like pasta, it does need to be seasoned while cooking. So I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. Now I also have a baking sheet that I will place my spaghetti squash on. I will drizzle it with olive oil. And then I will put the meat side of the spaghetti squash down on my pan. So I will roast it flesh up. Once roasted in a 400-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes, the coloring of my squash flesh will look like a butternut squash. And my meat of my squash should be browned now. Lightly browned, and it's going to easily be pulled away with forks. I'm using 2 forks to pull away some of the spaghetti squash noodles. Once it cools, it will allow those squash strands not to stick together as much. So now that I've let my squash cool, I'm going to add some drizzle of olive oil to a saute pan. I'm using pesto for this sauce today. I will also use a marinara sauce in my live demo. Now, I am adding a half a cup of the spaghetti squash to my preheated saute pan. I'm sauteing this on a medium heat. I'm going to agitate it, kind of spread it out, allowing the heat to get all of it, just like it would be with shredded potatoes and hash browns. I kind of want to get most of the cooking surface on these noodles, get them a nice little browning. I'm going to pull away from the fork to get the clumps away. I'm allowing it to cook a little brown on the bottom. Now I'm going to season it a little more, salt, a little more pepper. And now I'm going to take my pesto sauce and spoon over 3 teaspoons of sauce. I'm going to break it up and agitate the sauce. Now with pesto sauce, it does add a little more oil. So I'm going to gradually spoon it around, agitate it, make sure all of my sauce is incorporated into the spaghetti squash. Allow it to brown a little more. Now, could you add tofu into this? Could you add roasted chickpeas? Yes. This is where you would add any type of protein, plant-based or animal-based. I'm adding a little more herbs. Nice. Allowing it to brown a little more. You can see the bubbling. And now I'm plating it up. Just like any pasta, I'm going to swirl my tongs around and make a nice little bundle of pasta.